Every artist has a toolbox. Inside this toolbox are the 7 elements of art. They are line, shape, color, form, space, texture, and value. This video is going to focus on the element of art, space. Feel free to click the link below for a free guided note sheet. Let's start by defining what is space. Space is the area around, between, and within an object. There are 2 types of space. The first is negative space, and the second is positive space. Let's imagine that an artist draws a picture of a tree silhouetted against a white sky. In this drawing, the tree and the ground are the positive space. These are the actual physical objects that occupy space. In contrast, all the air around the tree is considered the negative space. Let's do another example. Try it out yourself. Draw an object of a silhouetted creature of your choice and label which part is the positive and which part is the negative space. Here's an example of a silhouetted cat. The actual cat's body is the positive space and all the air around it is the negative space. Are you still feeling a little confused about how artists create space in an artwork? There are lots of different ways that artists do this. One technique is called perspective. Perspective is a technique used to create the illusion of depth on a 2D plane. The 2D plane might be a flat piece of paper or a flat white canvas. Take a look at this scratchboard etching showing 1-point perspective. Notice that off in the distance is a point. This is called the vanishing point. Notice that a lot of the lines seem to converge to that point. Other lines are running parallel or perpendicular to that point. This is referred to as linear perspective. Note that the word line is in it, and you see lots of lines being used to create a sense of depth. Let's list a few other ways that artists create space. 6 ways include perspective, value and detail, size, placement, shading, and overlapping. To draw the first way of perspective, simply draw a straight horizontal line and put a vanishing point on that line. Next, draw a square or rectangle and then connect the corners of the square or rectangle back to the vanishing point. If you'd like to challenge yourself, try to draw another 3D shape in perspective. The second way is value and detail. For this example, we're going to draw 3 mountain ranges going back into space. So first start by sketching out your 3 mountainscapes, and then use your pencil to darken the ones in the front, getting lighter as they go off to the distance. You're also going to add a little bit of detail to the mountain range that's closest to you by adding some pine trees. This technique is also referred to as atmospheric perspective. Everything in the front is going to be a darker value and there's going to be more detail. However, as we move to the back, everything gets lighter and less saturated and there's less detail. This is because the atmosphere and all the dust in the sky affects how we see things way off in the distance. The third technique is size. For this example, we're going to draw a bunch of cones. We're going to make the objects that are closer to us larger, and everything's going to get smaller as it goes further away. This also ties into our 4th technique, which is placement. This is the concept that objects that are closer to the bottom of the paper are closer to the viewer, and objects that are higher up on the paper are considered further away. This comes in handy, like this example here, where we have 2 circles about the same size. We're able to tell that one is much further away, so we give a sense of space. The 5th technique is rendering shading. First, start by drawing a circle. This is a two-dimensional shape, and so it's not taking up any space. But by adding shading and rendering three-dimensional form, the circle becomes a sphere, which takes up space. The last technique is overlapping. In this technique, we're going to layer a bunch of cherries to show that they're taking up space. To draw the cherries, draw a heart shape and then add a little stem. Really layer all of your cherries and consider some of the things we've learned previously, like placement, size, and detail. So, what will you create with space? I hope you found this video tutorial to be helpful. Feel free to subscribe for more videos from Make a Mark Studios, helping you to make your mark through art.